The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins and Sawyer Robbins. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving deep into a powerful and transformative concept that has been making waves across the self-help and motivational world. The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins and Sawyer Robbins. This book has become a sensation because of its simplicity, practicality, and emotional truth. It's one of those ideas that sounds almost too simple at first, but once you understand its depth, it completely changes how you view relationships, stress, and your sense of control. If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to make people like you, frustrated when things don't go your way, or exhausted from trying to fix everything around you, this video is for you. By the end of this detailed summary, you'll have a clear understanding of what the Let Them Theory is, how it works, why it's so impactful, and how you can apply it to every part of your life. So sit back, relax, and let's explore this life-changing mindset together. The Let Them Theory is based on two simple but powerful words: let them. Mel Robbins explains that most of our stress, anxiety, and emotional burnout comes from trying to control other people, their behavior, opinions, reactions, and feelings. We spend so much of our time worrying about what others think of us or trying to shape outcomes that are simply not within our control. The Let Them Theory tells us to stop doing that. It's about permitting others to be who they are, do what they do, and make their own choices, even if those choices frustrate or disappoint us. At the same time, this mindset invites us to shift our focus from them to ourselves, what Robbins calls the let me part of the equation. While we can't control others, we can control how we respond, what boundaries we set, and how we choose to live. Together, let them and let me form a complete framework for emotional freedom and empowerment. In the book, Robbins explains that most of us unconsciously give our power away. We overextend ourselves trying to make everyone happy, to keep peace, or to meet expectations that don't even align with our values. The Let Them Theory challenges that habit by helping us return our energy to where it belongs, within ourselves. It's not about detachment or apathy. It's about acceptance and focus. Robbins says that when you truly embrace this mindset, you stop taking everything so personally. If someone doesn't invite you to something, let them. If someone disagrees with your opinion, let them. If someone judges your choices, let them. Every time you say let them, you remind yourself that their behavior is not your responsibility. Your peace is. One of the strongest sections of the book focuses on relationships. Whether it's family, friendships, romantic partners, or coworkers, relationships are often where our need for control shows up the most. We want people to act a certain way, care the way we do, or understand us on our terms. But this expectation leads to endless frustration. Robbins gives examples of how she and her daughter Sawyer applied the theory in their own relationship, especially while co-writing the book. Instead of arguing about how things should be done, they learned to let each other have space, different opinions, and unique working styles. The result wasn't distance, it was deeper respect and authenticity. The Let Them Theory doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or abuse. It means recognizing that you can't force others to change. But you can always choose how to respond. Robbins goes further to explain that the Let Them Theory applies not just to people, but also to situations. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them take credit. Let them be late. Let them live their life as they choose. Every time you let them, you take one step closer to peace and self-mastery. But here's where the second half of the theory comes in: the let me. Let me stay calm. Let me focus on my goals. Let me live by my own values. Let me be free from the chaos of other people's choices. This shift from external control to internal focus is what makes the theory so liberating. Robbins calls it a mental reset, a pause button for your emotional reactivity. In one part of the book, Robbins shares how this mindset helped her handle conflict and criticism. She describes moments when people online attacked her or disagreed with her views. Instead of reacting, she practiced saying to herself, let them. Let them judge, let them misunderstand, let them project their insecurities. By doing that, she protected her own energy. The let them theory, she says, doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what's not yours to carry. This distinction is vital. It's not about indifference, but about emotional intelligence. Understanding where your responsibility ends and where someone else's begins. In another chapter, Robbins applies the concept to comparison and self-worth. We live in a world where it's easy to compare ourselves to others, their achievements, looks, success, or lifestyle. But comparison steals joy and peace. The let them theory offers a simple antidote. Let them do what they do, and let me focus on my journey. Let them chase fame. Let them post their highlight reels. Let them run their race. You have your own path. Robbins emphasizes that by freeing yourself from comparison, you make space for authentic progress. You stop being motivated by insecurity and start being motivated by purpose. The theory also shines in the workplace context. Many people struggle with difficult bosses, toxic coworkers, or environments full of competition and politics. Robbins shows how the same principle applies there too. If your boss micromanages, let them. If your coworker takes credit, let them. If people underestimate you, let them. What matters is what you do next. You can choose to respond with professionalism, focus on your excellence, and move forward without letting others drain your energy. Let them becomes a shield that protects your focus and keeps your self-worth intact. Throughout the book, Robbins supports her points with real stories and psychological insights. She talks about how the human brain is wired to seek control because uncertainty feels unsafe. We try to predict and manage other people's actions to avoid discomfort. But ironically, this habit causes more anxiety because we're constantly fighting reality. The let them theory breaks this loop by encouraging acceptance. When you accept what is, rather than obsess over what should be, your nervous system relaxes. You regain clarity, creativity, and confidence. Robbins calls this returning home to yourself. Another powerful takeaway from the book is that let them theory builds self-trust. Every time you let others be themselves, you affirm that you can handle whatever happens next. You start believing in your ability to navigate discomfort without losing yourself. Over time, this strengthens your emotional boundaries. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You become the calm one in the storm. Robbins says this is where real confidence comes from, not from controlling outcomes, but from trusting your resilience. Of course, the book also addresses the potential misunderstandings of this idea. Some people hear "let them" and think it means you should never stand up for yourself or that you should tolerate mistreatment. Robbins clarifies that's not the case. Letting them doesn't mean you let go of your boundaries. In fact, it means enforcing them calmly and consistently. You can let people act as they wish and still choose not to engage or participate. You can walk away with peace instead of anger. The let them theory is about emotional responsibility, not emotional avoidance. It teaches you to decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Mel Robbins also connects this theory to broader philosophical ideas. She draws parallels with Stoic philosophy, focusing on what you can control and accepting what you can't. She also connects it to mindfulness and modern psychology. The essence is universal. Peace comes from within, not from others doing what you want. By practicing let them and let me, you build a healthier relationship with life itself. You stop swimming against the current and start flowing with it. Robbins calls this the art of emotional freedom. In the later parts of the book, Robbins explores how this mindset can transform your identity. Many people live their lives according to what others expect, the career their parents wanted, the image society approves of, the version of success that looks impressive on social media. The let them theory invites you to drop those masks. Let them think you're crazy for starting over. Let them judge you for choosing peace over ambition. Let them gossip about your choices. Let me live my truth. When you truly embrace this, you stop performing for the world and start living authentically. Robbins shares stories of people who use this mindset to make bold life decisions, quitting toxic jobs, ending draining relationships, setting healthy boundaries, or simply saying no without guilt. In each case, the act of letting others have their opinions while staying loyal to oneself became an act of courage. Robbins says that once you practice this enough, it becomes second nature. You start feeling lighter, freer, and more grounded. You stop chasing approval and start living with purpose. The let them theory is also deeply healing. It helps people who struggle with overthinking and people-pleasing find peace. When you stop trying to manage everyone's emotions, you suddenly have energy to care for your own. You sleep better, breathe easier, and focus more clearly. You start realizing that most of what stresses you out was never yours to begin with. Robbins calls this the emotional uncluttering, letting go of mental baggage that's been weighing you down for years. Of course, no book is perfect, and Robbins acknowledges that this mindset takes practice. You won't master it overnight. You'll have moments when you slip back into trying to control or fix others. But each time you catch yourself and say, "Let them," you strengthen your emotional muscle. Over time, you'll find yourself reacting less and living more. Robbins encourages readers to start small. Pick one situation a day where you consciously practice letting go. Maybe it's traffic, a rude comment, or a disagreement. With repetition, this becomes your new default. By the end of the book, the message is crystal clear. Peace is not something you find in others doing what you want. Peace is something you create by letting go. The let them theory gives you the tools to stop fighting reality, stop overthinking, and start living with clarity and calm. Robbins closes the book with a reminder that the most powerful words you can say in any situation are simple. Let them be, and let me be me. So, if you've been struggling with frustration, comparison, or anxiety, remember this. You don't need to control others to feel in control of your life. You just need to shift your focus inward. When you let people be who they are, you make space for your best self to emerge. You reclaim your energy, your peace, and your confidence. That's the real magic of the let them theory. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins and Sawyer Robbins. I hope this detailed summary gave you not just insight, but also practical inspiration for your own journey. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more life-changing book summaries and motivational insights, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a future video. And in the comments below, let me know how you plan to use the Let Them Theory in your life. Remember, let them say what they will, let them do what they do, and let you live in peace, purpose, and authenticity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.